everybody, it's Holly here today for Market Pop. This is a video that was supposed to be up last week, but I was having some technical difficulties, so I am sorry about that, but here we are today. So anyway, let's get started. We're using the Mama Elephant Make-A-Wish stamp set, and we're also using the adorable party animals from Mama Elephant. Starting out with a piece of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock, distressed ink watercolor cardstock, and I'm using an anti-static powder bag to just remove any kind of static that might be on there because we're going to be doing some embossing. And I'm putting the paper into my mini Misty, and then I'm using a grid sheet that I have and I'm lining up my image. I'm going to use the large Happy Birthday to You image. And I'm going to kind of center that, but keeping it more towards the top of the card because I'm going to put the little critters at the bottom. So once I have that all lined up, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the image using some VersaFine black ink. And that's the Onyx color. And this is a pigment-based ink that's really good to get you some nice crisp images when you stamp. Because this is watercolor paper and I'm actually using the smooth side of the cardstock, I still need to stamp it a few times to make sure I get a really nice deep black impression. And I'm also going to be embossing it, so I want to make sure my ink is wet. So on your first impression you might notice it looks a little dry and it's a little splotchy, but just keep stamping and you'll get a nice thick dark impression. So 3 times around, and then I'm going to heat set that with some Hero Arts clear embossing powder. And a tip for when you're embossing is to let your heat gun get hot for just a few minutes before you hit it to the paper. And I like to hit it from the back first, and then I go around to the front and just keep moving it. So to create the background, I'm going to take some Peacock Feathers Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to smoosh that down onto my craft mat. I'm going to spritz it with a little bit of water, and then I'm going to use a piece of acetate that I've got on my desk here, and I'm going to pick that up, and then I'm going to smoosh that down all over my embossed image, and just keep moving it around. And this creates a nice, fun background, bright. You can use any colors for this, it's a great, easy background to do. So then once I have that all done, I'm going to set it aside to dry. I'm going to go ahead and start working on my little images. I'm using it as a piece of scrap on my desk, and I'm stamping a scrap of expressive blending cardstock, and I'm going to stamp the images in Lawn Fawn jet black ink, and then I'm going to color them in with my Copics. I'm not doing anything special with my Copic coloring, it's just your basic. I will put a list of the colors I used in the information box below. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Misty to make sure I get a nice deep impression. And then when I'm all done coloring, I'll be back and we'll continue making the card. Now that everybody's all colored in, I'm going to go ahead and die cut them using the coordinating dies for the Party Animals stamp set. I just ran that through my Big Shot. And I'm going to use a piece of Peacock cardstock. I'm not sure what brand this is or where it came from, but it's pretty close to the Peacock Feathers color. Making a top folding A2 size card. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and use a paintbrush and a little bit of water, and I'm going to splatter some of that over my background. And this is going to help create that oxide effects that these inks do. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of excess there with my paper towel. And then I'm just going to heat set it real quick to make sure everything's nice and dry. I'm going to go ahead and measure my card to make sure everything's fitting correctly here. Everything's lined up nice. I don't have good luck with paper trimmers, so I always like to double check before I add my adhesive. I'm using some Tombow liquid, multi-medium liquid here, and I'm just running that along the back side. You want to use a very thin strip around the edges so that nothing kind of gobs out along the sides. This gives you a little bit more time to shift your card front around if you need to move it because you're using a liquid glue, as opposed to adhesive like on a tape runner. Once you put that down, you're kind of stuck and you can't really wiggle it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and use some foam tape on my little critters. And I'm just going to trim that up and get that on each little critter. And then I'm pretty much just going to place the critters on the bottom of the card where I want them. I am going to put a couple in the background just down with the liquid glue so they're not dimensional. And that pretty much finishes up my card today. If you haven't played with the Distress Oxide inks, I recommend getting one or two to play with. These are some great backgrounds you can create with them, and with big bold segments, you don't need to do a lot of stuff. You can even I could have just left this with just the sentiment without the little images as well. And you can create massive amounts of these cards really easy. Great for Christmas time using 2 different colors or something like that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I will see you guys again soon, so have a great week.